Hello everyone and welcome back to Lotus Premier Education. My name is Amanda and I want to be your college tutor. Today we're going to talk about the 5 things that you need to remember when you're in high school if you want to apply to Wharton. So let's get into it. Wharton is the business school at the University of Pennsylvania, and they have a really competitive graduate but also undergraduate program. So for a lot of students, especially students who are interested in business, Wharton is kind of the pinnacle of achievement, and it's a great goal, but there are several things that you can be doing right now that are going to change your chances of getting into Wharton. So let's get into it. Number 1, if you're a student that's interested in applying to Wharton, you need to start focusing on your grades like yesterday. Your grades freshman year are going to be incredibly important, but also the classes that you take freshman year are going to be incredibly important because they are going to set the academic track that you are going to be following all the way through high school. So what do I mean by that? At the end of 8th grade, you're usually selecting your classes for freshman year. The Wharton Admissions Committee and UPenn admissions as a whole is really interested in academic rigor. So you want to make sure that you are challenging yourself as much as you can and that you want to pay a special focus on math level. So where you get to in math is going to play a really big role in whether or not you're considered for admission to Wharton. So number 1, you want to make sure you're focusing on your grades, you're focusing on your transcript, and you're focusing on the classes you take all the way at the beginning of high school. Number 2, on that similar note, and this is its own category, you want to really pay attention to how your STEM narrative is presenting itself. So for example, you want to make sure that it is possible for you to take calculus. Yes, you heard me correctly. Most competitive colleges, and especially competitive STEM or business programs, are going to be looking for students who have taken calculus. So what that means is you need to either start in a math class that's going to get you to calculus, or you're going to need to supplement over the summer or with concurrent math classes. Also, you want to pay really close attention to your curriculum. What other classes at your school are offered that are going to supplement your narrative as you apply to Wharton? And you want to make sure that those classes are really competitive. What looks better, AP Stats or AP Economics? It depends on the level of rigor that is offered at your school. So you want to be choosing your classes intelligently. And these are conversations that you should be having with your high school counselor or with your independent college counselor very early on in your college career. Because some of the decisions you're making freshman and sophomore year could really change your chances junior and senior year. The third thing that you should be doing if you want to apply to Wharton is focusing on standardized tests. Now, you should be focusing on standardized tests early, and I cannot stress this enough. One thing I will hear a lot is let kids be kids. Don't put too much pressure on them at an early stage. If you actually plan your standardized testing trajectory accordingly, you will remove pressure by starting at an earlier point because you don't need to focus on test prep as a direct track to the SAT or the ACT. You need to focus on foundational skills that are going to teach you how to be a better test taker. And these skills will also apply to your classes at school. So it's a win-win. But if you start early enough, you're also going to be building foundational test prep skills that will help you on the PSAT. A lot of students don't really take the PSAT seriously because they're told not to. In schools, we tell students, just take it casually. It's meant to just be a marker of success, a standardization of where you are at this time. That is wrong because the PSAT could qualify you for national merit standing. And if you get national merit standing, your chances of getting into Wharton are much, much higher. The other pro tip we're going to tell you about the PSAT, most students don't study for it, which means if you do, you automatically have a leg up. So it's a no-brainer. Start studying for your standardized tests early. Start building foundations of reading comprehension and math skills and processing that are going to help you on your standardized tests and in school and on the PSAT so that maybe national merit is a little bit more within your reach. Number 4, if you are interested in attending Wharton, you want to make sure you're choosing your clubs carefully from the first day of freshman year. Remember, all students that are applying to Wharton have a business narrative. That means that you are going to be in a much broader pool of applicants who all want to do the same thing and who all show the same lean. So how do you make sure that you really stand out within that pool? Well, one of the easiest ways is getting ahead early. Find clubs where you know you're going to be able to build in a leadership role, maybe sophomore year instead of senior year. Make sure you maximize whatever it is that your school offers in the business space. If you say that you want to be a business student, but you don't participate in clubs like the finance club or DECA, and you instead choose to do clubs like biology club, your narrative is not going to make sense. So we're not telling you to sacrifice things that you're interested in. You should absolutely participate in clubs and activities that interest you. But if you really want to attend Wharton one day, you want to remember that you as a business student are going to be paired up with a bunch of other business school students. So you need to figure out early on how to distinguish yourself. Another way that you can do that is by finding a focus within business. Are you really interested in diversity within the business space? Are you really interested with business for good and collaborations across business fields and ways that companies are giving back to nonprofits? Are you really interested in international business or legal business? Try to identify that early on so that you can build your narrative around a specific niche. This will make you more attractive in the college process because you've built a story around who you are and who you want to be. Now, one of the ways that you can really support that niche actually brings us to tip number 5. If you want to apply to Wharton someday, when you are in high school, you should be finding ways to supplement your narrative outside of school. This is really important. You have 4 summers that you can maximize. You also have winter breaks. You have spring breaks. You have time after school. Find local internships, shadow experiences, online classes that you can participate in, and really show a hunger and a desire for business knowledge. One thing that's become really popular is something called MOOCs. Those are massive open online courses. Those are widely available across the internet where you can learn things like introduction to finance, introduction to entrepreneurship, economics if your school doesn't offer it. And a lot of times there's really no reason why you shouldn't be taking those things to show the Wharton Admissions Committee that you want to go into business because you know you want to go into business. You've already started learning about it and you're hooked and you're good at it. One thing that will put you at a disadvantage if you're applying to Wharton is not having enough business expertise to show that you really know you want to go into it, and also to show that you have foundational skill sets. Professors, admissions officers, the school as a whole, they do not want to be starting from zero. They want to be teaching you and building upon a foundation that you already have, a curiosity that you already have, and a proven capability. So they know that they are taking students who are not only going to excel and shine and reflect positively on the school, but who are also not going to change their minds after one semester. So if you are applying to Wharton, or if you are hoping to one day apply to Wharton, there are 5 things you should make sure you do. Number 1, focus on your grades, your transcripts, and your classes. Number 2, pay attention to your STEM narrative and specifically what math classes you're going to be in. Number 3, plan to take standardized tests and start preparing for them early. Number 4, choose your clubs carefully, plan out your leadership carefully, and know how you're going to participate in business-related initiatives all throughout high school in a way that's going to set you apart from your peers at school and your peers in the Wharton pool. And number 5, know what you're doing outside of school to really bolster and build your business narrative. If you have any question about the Wharton application, what you should do if you're an interested business student, please drop your comments down below. We love answering your comments on here, and we may just make another video about it. Please like, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing, and we look forward to seeing you back here soon on Lotus Premier Education. Good luck with your Wharton application.